Okay, and we're back with Autumn Leaves. I am still looking for the final hollow disc. I haven't even gone in here, so you know I did not look everywhere. I'm dumb. Why are there baseballs all over here? On what is clearly the basketball field. Basketball field? Basketball court, maybe? Big Daddy Billiards. Roller skates. Alright, so that's the rec room, I suppose. And then this is the lounge cafeteria place. Turgid and violent actions. 14 out of 20. Ah. Very well.
Aldrich here. It's about time I found something relevant to... Roger, stop frightening me like that!
Such a
What is it now?
lovely day.
Wait. You smell like cigarettes. Did you actually smoke
Say
inside the
the
library?
words and
Are
we'll
you
be
crazy?
the birds down to walk.
What do you think
Poco
will happen to us
Bay.
if those monomaniacal contraptions
It's
notice one of us
perfect
is smoking
for
in a
flying.
library?
Honeymoon.
Well, I don't
They
know
say
either. And I don't want to
they'll
know.
fly with
So
me.
get your
Let's
feet in the
fly,
shower
let's
and get
fly
rid of that
away.
filthy smell before I catch you. If their maker gave them something as useless as a personality, I wouldn't be surprised if they're also equipped with some sort of sniffing module. And even if they aren't, you really stink. So chop chop, shower.
That was long. Chop chop shower. Alright, well, he finally found something interesting. Prospector Saloon Radio. Alright, well, let's repair it. Why the hell not? Anyway. Oh. The Library of Babel. This continues out here? Yeah, okay, so first, let's double check in here. Oh, noodles, those look good. What is that? That Dexter's room key. Ah, here's all the places where they were stuck. On one holotape, you learn that Dexter's cohort lost both keys to their room. Find one of them. You have the key to Dexter's room. Maybe you'll find something inclusive in there. I feel like I'm searching too thoroughly. I'm finding things I'm not supposed to be. Ooh. Victory. Quartz? Nope. Quartz. Don't need any of that other stuff. Okay, so now I can search the room, but maybe I should go talk to James first. What's this way? That's stairs. Also stairs? Nope. Okay. I'm learning. This is very interesting. Alright, so I found all...
I wanted to ask, what is scratching an itch like? How would you rate it?
Not as good as sneezing. On a scale of 7 to 68, I give it 1 Nito. I like that. 5 out of 5, scratch yourself. Once would scratch again. It's just like sneezing, but with your skin instead of your nose. Unpredictable 2-second ecstasy ride from hell to heaven. Well, I guess I should go with sneezing, even though it's not helpful at all. Is there an actual way to answer this? Let's go with unpredictable 2-second ecstasy ride from hell to heaven.
An irresistible physical urge is what it is, huh? I get it better now.
Remind me, what's the deal with the Brotherhood duo and their holotapes?
Yes.
Why don't you investigate it yourself?
I don't know how to put this. We, lost both keys to their room. So maybe there's something in it, maybe not. I have no way to be sure.
I found a key.
My siblings told me I was overreacting when I suggested blowing up the doors to get inside. Besides, Roland has the final word when it comes to the living quarters.
Why are you assuming they left something behind?
Because they did. Dexter liked to record his observations at the first opportunity. It is something we strongly encourage our guests to do, and to share with us for survey reasons. We didn't expect that he would record so many, though. Worst thing is, he left them scattered all over the place. No, wait. The real worst thing was that there wasn't any relevant information on these.
What kind of rust situation?
We once received a visit from a group of slavers. They had been tipped off by one of our previous guests, who told them that there was food and shelter here. Things got quickly out of hand. We had to drive them off, violently. We had to seal this place off for a few months. The time to let things blow off. Calm down.
Oops, I didn't mean to click. Well, what's in it for me?
Compensation. Well, there are some popular books we try to keep out of everyone's hands, mainly because their main
So he'll
appeal
give
is,
me cards
and it's
to
something
print out
worth.
books. Okay, I found nothing conclusive,
Good.
but I found them.
See,
Should I go search the room first? Oh my gosh. I have so many questions. Yeah. Okay, so let's go search the room. I will find something conclusive, perhaps. Oh, main entrance. I thought that's a maintenance. I like that I got the water breathing implant, because it also means that she doesn't huff and puff every time I sprint. I don't need to talk to you. Wait, which room was it? Oh my gosh. Five. Still really confused. Oh, okay, I went in there. And then 3 requires key. 2 requires key. So how did I find 6? Is this the room? Yeah, this is the room I came in when it said to inform him he was dead. This is the wrong room. And there's nothing in here. So, I mean, it's my own fault because this was very newly released, I'm pretty sure, so that's good. Help him figure things out. Okay, where... Locks use key. Alright. Audio log 5. Do you have anything conclusive?
How the old world managed to waste so many resources on vapid enterprises is beyond me. What is the point of keeping a record on all these useless topics? This isn't a library. It's a graveyard for pointless knowledge. Give me a year, and I'll sort out the 100, no, say 50 books worth keeping, while we cremate the rest and make room for a new chapter. The stupidity of these pre-war novels, in particular, are just too much for me to endure. I am still waiting for their database. What was the name of this wretched thing already? Arthur? To come up with actually valuable information.
Well then, I guess that is important. So let's go tell him. I'm not you. I'm not talking to you. I'm going out here.
regrets. Crazy thing, right? Any you'd want to impart? Get off your chest?
In retrospect, there is one kind heart or two I wish I didn't break.
Don't let that eat at you too much, okay? It was only a question.
I found this recording in Dexter's room. I must warn you, it's probably not what you expected.
Oh, great. I can't wait to know what,
Oh, that was really fast.
Oh dear. I'll need much time to digest this.
Do you need help with something else?
Yes, but hey, I didn't forget your reward. Please, take this. You can cash in the study room. It's the little room where our master sleeps. Come back and tell me when you want to give me a hand with another guest.
Okay, and that's when I was supposed to go,
So,
wait, you're
how
telling
may
me
I
there's
help?
another guest here? What can I help you
There
with?
is another guest I want you to investigate.
Darren that's totally
Andretti.
different.
On many regards, he was one of the most interesting guests we've had. But because of messy circumstances, I couldn't make a proper debrief with him.
I'm curious to hear what you mean by messy circumstances.
One night he became so badly drunk he began throwing insults at the books, us, and our mother. While the experience was very enriching from a vocabulary standpoint, we ultimately had to stop him before he blew up the entire bibliographies with C4.
Bibliographies. How did that end up?
Well, he ended up being banned from this place. One of the rare times we had to resort to banishment. We feared he'd come back at us with a vengeance, so we confiscated a lot of his explosives and left him with but a few weapons. So the fact that he might reach the closest community, we offered him some valuables to somewhat compensate the prejudice.
What kind of books did you want to destroy?
Economy, social studies, cognitive sciences, cybernetics. It barely made sense to us, but it looked like he knew exactly what he was doing. Picked books in separate shelves, rounded them up, packed them with C4.
Who was he?
A prospector, a raider, we were never quite sure on which side he was walking. What we did realize, however, is that he is extremely eager to educate himself and learn to read and write. We were all surprised by his sudden burning passion for literature, except Helena. For some reason, she hasn't the right to disclose that information to us.
So I guess I'm to find his room and find traces of something there?
For all I know, he began keeping some kind of diary during his sojourn here. He said it was good writing exercise for him. Finding it could be a start. I will give you the key. He threw it at my face instead of giving it back to Roland.
Besides his room, any other possible lead?
He liked to take long walks throughout the whole facility, and outside as well. He also spent a lot of time with Helena. She won't tell me much. God knows I asked her to talk about him. She wouldn't answer. Patient-therapist confidentiality.
I'm on it.
And for this, you are to be commended and rewarded.
I'm in the mood for some questions. Is there anything you wish to know?
Yes, great. So tell me, what is life like in the outside world? Can you describe it to me?
What? What did you ask me? What's it like in the outside world? It's not easy. It's often violent, but we have some reasons to think it'll be better someday.
I'm sure it will. Historically, humans have always strived to improve their living conditions. For example, soap.
Soap. I'll be going now.
See you around.
Alright, so back to his room. Oh, that's the wall. Still can't. Oh, that's right. It told me to ask around. Well, let's ask Arthur an open-ended question. What's Helena's
Once
story?
upon a time, a child had a music box he held very dear, though he loved nothing more than hearing the box's sweet melody. He wanted to know how its mechanisms worked. He knew that by breaking open the box, he could have a glimpse of what was inside, and perhaps even a bit comprehend how it worked. Of course, He feared he couldn't repair it afterwards, opening the box and risking to break it, or leaving it the way it was. Eventually, the child would make his choice.
Piper?
There are two kinds of poisons. Those that don't kill you and make you stronger, and the others.
Okay. Tell me about Robson.
A mind mangled, a face obliterated, replaced by a terrible, unforgivable caricature, a twisted remnant of a bygone era. He looked all his life for a mirror where he could look at without seeing the scars left by a mankind gone mad.
So
He eventually found it here, at long last. He looked at his own lost humanity in a way that made him at peace with where he came from.
Tell me why your master sometimes called you Johnson. That's not a question. Alright, we'll speak later. Oh, Niner. What are you even doing here? What have I done?
Forgive me if I'm being too inquisitive, but the scar on your forehead, it is recent, isn't it?
What if it is?
Seeing how this is a bullet wound, you might have sustained damage to your brain. I think I might be able to help you with it.
It's okay then, I'll let you examine the wound on my forehead.
First, let me ask you, under which circumstances were you wounded?
Tell her the whole story.
That's quite a story, I must say. And quite a miracle you didn't die. Let's have your head scanned now. Please sit comfortably while I prepare the procedure.
My screen doesn't go black for this kind of stuff anymore. I don't know why.
Oh, you're awake.
You were
For
gonna
now,
roll off
the
the
results
couch.
are rather encouraging. It doesn't seem that you sustained major damage, though I fear there may be some complications.
What are those complications you speak of?
People suffering from brain trauma often encounter a wide range of personality and coordination disorders, as well as language impairment issues, social disinhibitions, and in some cases, extraordinary risk-taking, as well as a dangerous tendency to transgress rules. Did you observe any of those symptoms?
I sometimes feel the urge to just smash chessboards in tiny splinters. I tend to pick up everything I see as if it has always been mine. I view things under a different light now. My ethics tend to fluctuate. I have trouble staying focused, often put everything on hold and just go wandering off the road. Now that you mention it, seems I can't speak very long sentences. What's up with that? I tend to jump into action recklessly as if I always get a second chance for everything. Let's talk about how I always pick everything up.
Okay.
And reckless. Alright, what's
Some
is
of
it serious?
these symptoms are likely to persist until you get used to them or until they disappear completely. This should help. When you told me what happened to you, there was one thing that bothered me. Your decision to go after the people who ambushed you. Did you ask yourself why you began chasing the person that nearly killed you? Especially considering how close he was to succeeding.
Well, I didn't really think about it. It seemed like the thing to do. Weird, it's not like me.
That's what I feared.
Let's say you're right. I'm a little confused, or simply not quite healed. What would you propose?
That you think about your motives. During your stay here, and as long as you allow it, I will regularly monitor your cerebral activity. On your side, I might ask you to read some books, which may help you put your motivations into perspective.
I swear they know when I double-click and open my camera. They stopped doing whatever they were doing I wanted to take a picture of. Sure.
Wonderful. The first book I want you to read is The Count of Ponte Risco. Please come
Count
back
of
when you're
Ponte
done with it.
Risco?
I lent it to Roland a while ago. He should know where it is.
Not Monte Cristo. I have questions about
I would
previous
help you as
guests.
much as I can, as long as you don't ask me to breach medical confidentiality.
The drunk guy you had to kick out, Darren
He
Andretti.
was one of my patients. As such, there is some information I'm not allowed to tell you.
Very well. Tell me something that isn't confidential then.
He was a young man who hadn't reached his 20s yet. By his own admission, he had a restless personality, a temper that didn't go well with community life. He couldn't read at first, but during his stay here, he worked very hard and quickly became quite literate. Almost too quickly.
What kind of books did he ask you to read?
Poetry and songbooks. It didn't matter to him that I couldn't sing. For some reason, said readings would make Roland come all the way here.
Do you remember one of those songs or poem that made Roland come over?
Yes, I believe I still have one of those around.
What's the title
The
of the book?
Kick Inside. That's because it's kind of visceral, I suspect.
Did you two speak
As
regularly?
a matter of fact, yes. Even out of our therapy sessions, he would often bring me books for me to
Just
read.
out of order.
The first times he asked was because he didn't know how to read. The next because he simply enjoyed hearing me, he said. You're
Thanks.
welcome. Of course. Anytime.
Alright. Probably gonna get the most information. Bye! From his room. But we can talk to Roland just in case. Can I go through here? Probably not the best way to go. Oh. Alright, hello.
You again. You know, I should thank you. Somehow you've made me transcend my codebase and wish I had a stomach full of half-digested food and acid so I could violently spill it out onto the floor. Weird.
Helena told me you were reading The Count of Ponte Risco.
Yeah, I was. I couldn't get what it was about. Do you need it for something? It's around here somewhere.
Why did Helena offer you that book?
Hell if I know. Did she expect me to have some kind of life-changing epiphany? Some transfigurative moment that changes me forever from a petty, angry piece of garbage? Well, not so, my ugly friend. I have my own favorite reads.
Around here somewhere?
It's on a table downstairs. Probably.
Alright, thanks for nothing, I guess.
Anytime.
Any chance you might by any chance, anything you might tell me about that Darren Andretti guy?
Oh, sure. I knew from the first second this guy was bad news. Just like you, as a matter of fact. So I gave him a well-deserved hard time. He didn't even seem to mind that much, though. Isn't that interesting? No man with a clear conscience can put up with little old me.
Did you notice something unusual when you went to his room?
I remember that one time he didn't answer the door right away. I heard a very loud noise, and then a bump. The whole thing was muzzled by the door, so I couldn't quite make out what it was.
Please note that I don't put up with your shit.
Yeah, well, you're no saint either, my man. You tracked mud in here, and you smell like shit. I mean, everybody in here has a smell sensitivity 1,000 times higher than a mere human, but they're too polite to say anything. Well, not me.
Hard time. I'll probably regret asking this, but what kind of hard time? Knocked on the door in the middle of the night.
And then when he just began answering, I'm like, it's surprise visit time! And every goddamn time, he'd open the door and let me inspect the room, and that's how I knew he was up to no good. Anybody normal wouldn't have put up with this. In the end, he didn't even answer what time it was anymore. He would just mumble, surprise visit time, bleh, and let me in. What a fool.
How is it you're so inclined to answer my question this time?
Well, I just love to brag.
I'll work with that. I'm surprised to say this, but you've been helpful.
Well, of course I've been helpful. I'm a gift from the heavens, after all.
Alright, that's great. So, to his room. Alright, which room was it? Do I have the right quest? Oh my gosh. I did those things. Let's check which room because it's not pointing me. Oh, another vent. Wait, to the armory? Interesting.
What is it now, Roland?
Ah. Room 3. I'm in room 3. Which was over here. Oh, hello. Despite your presence, the machine gets on with his work as if you weren't there. Examine the robot closer. It looks just like another Mr. Handy unit. He's particularly worn out and some wires are hanging from his left side. You're not like the others, are you?
Please move along. If you have any questions, James on the first floor will be happy to answer.
Can you help me with
Please
something?
move along.
Never mind. Alright, so what's going on in here? Activate a rough draft. A very uneasy hand laid down quantities of letters on the paper. A. Some of them are R's and H's until the end of the sheet, so he was practicing his writing. Well, figures. Couldn't have done shit for them even if I had been a doctor. I carefully writing my thoughts as they come, but by writing I ensure that what I am learning stays anchored in my mind, so I write again and again and again. I can't get this right. This page is one of the numerous sheets Darren used to practice his writing. Something on the page catches your attention anyway. In a corner, Darren wrote A plus 1 equals B. Is this a suspicious vent? More A's. Oh, okay. Piece of a diary. Had the weirdest dream last night. Dad was here looking me through his broken glasses, nodding on the occasion. My head was covered with a myriad of small windows. They were encrusted in my skin and opened all the time. I was afraid my brain would pour out, so I tried to close them all, yet they always burst open afterwards. My mom came in to help me pick up the bits of my brains that fell on the floor. Somehow between the time she took them and stuffed them back in my head, they turned into sheets of paper. I asked her why she was doing that, but I couldn't utter a single word. She handed me her backpack and some kind of plasma gun. I asked her what I was to do with it. Then she began singing erotic sounds. And that dear old diary was simply too much. More A's. A map to an unspecified location. There are a listing of various items on this sheet as well as a map. From what you gather, it's not too far from here, south of Patia. You mark the place down near Pip-Boy. Oh. I'm gonna have to leave. Badly stained sheet of paper. A large sentence is awkwardly written, dreadfully smeared even across this badly stained paper sheet. I'm a little teapot, short and stout. Here is my hand, and here is my gun. Always remember how my mom liked to tell my dad off and brought me along when she went excavating old world ruins. Gosh, I was excited when she did that. Taught me everything I had to know about explosives, how to rig them, time, and all. I remembered something the other day, though, something I totally forgot. During one of our expeditions, we had found one of the ultra-sweet weapons, even more old world-ish than the other. Mom spent a little while examining those. I couldn't contain myself. Those things were so shiny, they gotta bring us some heavy caps. After a while, she placed the weapon down with the rest of them back in the bottom of the ruin. She asked me to stay outside, got out after a while, and pushed her detonator. When I asked her no, when I yelled why she destroyed it, she told me that excavating weapons that could kill people one at a time is all fine and dandy, provided you're a little bit careful who you're selling them to. Bringing out weapons that could burn down entire towns, well, there should have been some rule against that. Now that's quite the pile of papers, probably gibberish written by Darren. You decide to... Oh, interesting. Lazily rummage through it, lose patience, throw it all away in frustration, quickly skim through it in hopes of finding something useful, or read it through thoroughly. Well, I guess I'm going to do this. Doesn't hurt me any. Reading such a large amount of almost nonsensical text is quite the ordeal. On one paper, though, something catches your eyes. You're not sure, but there's some possibility that Darren lays down cryptic indications to a nearby spot. You're a bit puzzled, though. If it wasn't for your sharp mind, you would have completely missed it. Darren was obviously not as stupid as it seems. You mark the place on your Pip-Boy. It's not very far from the library. Oh, so I would have been mad if I found that and then it told me right there. Okay, another sheet of paper. Or if I went through all that and I'd already found that. Okay, to be able to earnestly say something and its contrary without the slightest bit of embarrassment is the path to genius. More A's. I'm getting tired of playing dumb. They probably imagine I couldn't write or read a single word before I came to their library when I've been keeping a journal since I was 7. Faking illiteracy has been the ticket for a very comfy stay, but it didn't net as much rewards as I hoped. I know they're got weapons. From what I gathered, the access in the southeastern corner first floor. Secured, but it's there. Haven't succeeded in picking the lock, and there's no terminal connected to it. There's got to be a way in. My time is running out. I'm getting sick of this place. On top of that, I saw some night stalkers roaming outside not too far from my cache. Maybe it's just time for me to leave. More A's. Yes, little man. The whole note is written in a very hesitant writing. I learned a lot today. Genitals of all sizes and flavor are drawn on the back of the sheet. Genitalias. Want to know by which hole someone is trying to screw you over? Pay attention to what he isn't saying. That one interests me the most. Okay, I should begin to keep track of where I hide them, really. I have found another one of those weird key cards. How many of those are there? I tried everywhere, but I couldn't find anywhere in the door it's supposed to open. I'll hide it in the meantime in the G in the RBRBBRGBBR. I wouldn't want to answer why I have those, especially if Roland stumbles on it during one of his famous surprise visits. RBR. Well, that sounds like red, blue, blue, red, green, blue, red. But I haven't seen anything like that. Interesting. Now you get down. Oh, in the TV. But in the green, that doesn't make sense. Anything up here? Once again, I couldn't make sense of anything that big-ass computer Arthur told me. I still think there's some kind of pattern, some kind of secret hidden in all his stories, but I just don't know what it is, and I still went through every book on encryption methods that I could find, to no avail, of course. Well, at least I hid one of these strange keycards in a broken terminal there. Roland doesn't bother me when I'm in the computer room anyway, so I should consider hiding more things in there. Okay, so the green and the...
It's hard today. Maybe we should,
One in a planter, one with a chessboard, one on a typewriter, one on biology, one on chemistry, one in a case of fire, one behind a jukebox, and of course none of them works. You're just gonna roll off the couch? You almost rolled off the couch. I think I scared you more than I helped you. Sorry. Alright, one in a planter, one with a chessboard, one on a typewriter, one on biology, one in chemistry, one in a case of fire.
get naked.
Shut up.
So we don't.
About getting naked. Okay, so that's
sex.
his room. Interesting. Okay, so I know where the jukebox is, so let's start with that one. And the chessboard. Okay. Okay. So let's go back. Oh. There's a chessboard. I doubt he would hide it there, though. Oh, there's more than one jukebox. These are, like, right up against the wall. Maybe I can activate the one in the common room. In the green, in the red, blue, green. That could be books. But there was only one green in what he said. Well, that'll wait till next time. So, until then, we'll see you next time.